Again, welcome to today's masterclass, Trainer Tribe Masterclass. Great that all of you could join us on a Friday evening. I understand that it would have been a long week for most of us, but thank you for taking out this time to be part of this masterclass. And I can definitely see a couple of us have been joining us on a regular basis. So kudos to you. Please continue supporting this initiative of Trainer Tribe. Today's topic, as you might already know, is around invisible and visible presence of power in our facilitation. So this is something that is quite important in the present scenario, in the present situation that we are right now in, wherein all of us are in a verge of trying to become facilitators, engage in facilitation. So looking at exploring the presence of power, be it invisible or visible. So it was great. It is great that we have somebody who is a multifaceted person, Rahul Hasija. I would leave it to him to do his introduction because I think that would be better, because I definitely, one thing that caught my attention was he's a story weaver. So I'm sure that today's Trainer Tribe session would also be weaved like a story. So I would leave that to Rahul Hasija, who would be coming in sometime. Before that, going on, as you know that this is an initiative of Trainer Tribe, which is an online learning community of educators under Quest Alliance. So in case you're thinking of sharing about this masterclass, your experience being part of this masterclass, something exciting that you found out while attending, feel free to use the hashtag Trainer Tribe hashtag. You would have got to know by now that you have been put on mute. So just so that we have a very undisturbed conversation and engagement. At any point, if it is necessary to be unmuted, we will unmute it from the back end for you. As you know that the chat box is already active. So please keep on putting your comments, questions, queries, whatever thoughts that you have. We will definitely take it up at different points of this masterclass. And definitely there would be time towards the end of the masterclass for some questions to be answered by Rahul. Just to give you a brief of Quest Alliance, I'm sure that most of us who have joined us today have been part of the Trainer Tribe Masterclass, but a couple of us are joining us for the first time. So just to give you a brief about Quest Alliance. So Quest Alliance is a not-for-profit organization based in Bangalore. And the basic thing that we work with is transforming learning ecosystem across the school to work continuum. Our key area that we focus on is 21st century skills, which includes self-awareness, communication, relationship building, problem solving. And the broader themes that we work towards is life skills, career and work readiness, digital literacy, fluency, and self-employment. And our programs are centered around these themes. We work, if you look at, we work from school to work continuum. So we work with the middle schools, we work with the secondary schools, and we work with the technical and vocational education and training. So we work in all these ecosystems so that the continuum is filled. And we are working towards focus programs which are designed to meet key gaps in the school to work continuum in different ways. Going forward, if you look at our impact, if you split it into two verticals, if you look at the school outreach, we have reached out to 1,641 government schools across the country, reaching out to 4 lakh plus students. And our intervention through our different programs have led to a 10% increase in school attendance as compared to the state average. We are present in 9 states, so these government schools are present in 9 states. In the work vertical, we work with 40 plus training partners, which are NGOs who are working on similar lines. We also work with 400 plus industry training institutes. We have signed MOUs with 6 state governments, which has helped us reach out to 130,000 young people, covering about 12 states across the country. So that is our impact in a glance. It would be unfair if I wouldn't thank our donors and partners for their extreme support, for spreading the word about this masterclass in their network, and for always supporting us in any initiative that we take up in Quest Alliance. So a huge round of gratitude and thanks to the donors and partners. Cool. So I think I will invite Rahul Hasija because I don't want to take up more time because I know it's an exciting masterclass that has been planned by Rahul. So over to you, Rahul. Why don't you start by introducing yourself and I can stop sharing and you can go ahead with the masterclass as planned.
Okay. I'm audible.
Yes.
Cool. So welcome. Namaste. Salam. Happy to be here. Happy to be meeting a lot of new people actually. Yes. So thank you for joining in. And mm, yeah. So I'm assuming that people might be coming from different. Doing different things. Some might be busy in their office, doing work, some at home, involved in a lot of different things. So I would invite each one of you right now to close your eyes. And if it is possible to switch on your videos for some time, um, at least I'll know whom I'm talking to. So for a while, if you can just switch on your videos, and then of course after a while you
Good
can,
afternoon.
if bandwidth doesn't support you, you can again um, switch off your videos. But for right now, if you can, and yes, requesting each one to close their eyes and feel their breath, maybe breathing in gently and breathing out gently. Once more, breathing in gently and breathing out gently. Focusing our attention on our bodies, sensing the place we are sitting in, sensing the place we are sitting on. So, people who are joining in right now, inviting them to close their eyes, sensing where their free feet are right now. आपके पैर कहाँ हैं उसे महसूस कीजिए. Sensing your hands, and breathe out with a sigh. Continue to close your eyes for a little more. Now, our body has different functions, and each part of it, each sense has a different function, has a different part in our body. I would want you to move your right hand up front, like bring your right hand, feel your right hand. Continue to close your eyes and bring your attention to your right hand. And I'll say a body part, and I'll say about a sense, and you bring your hand to the place where you feel that sense resides. आप अपना हाथ उस जगह ले आइए जहाँ पे मैं कहता हूँ कि वो सेंस है आपका, आपको लगता है जहाँ पे वो सेंस है, यू ब्रिंग योर हैंड टू दैट पार्ट ऑफ योर बॉडी. So while keeping your eyes closed, bring your hand to the part of your body where you feel your sense of smell is. Okay. Now, keeping your eyes closed, bring your hand to the part of your body where you feel your sense of touch is. Now, keeping your eyes closed, bring your hand to the part of your body where you feel your sense of excitement is. Mm. You feel where it is actually, where you feel like excitement. And it's okay if it is not visible on the video, but you bring your hand to that place. Now, with your keeping your eyes closed, bring your hand to the part of your body where you feel this. There's a sense of um, making decisions. What part of your body makes decisions? Okay, so now bring your hand to the part of your body where you feel your sense of control is. Bring your hand to the part of your body where you feel your sense of worth is. Bring your hand to the part of your body where you feel your sense of autonomy is. Okay, bringing your attention back to your breath, and gently breathing in and breathing out with a sigh. Once more, breathing out with a sigh. Okay, welcoming you back to the session, back to the present, and inviting you to open your eyes. Thank you for doing that process with me. Um, I would request. I'm curious to hear actually where these some of the senses were, and um, if you could just share in the chat box, where do you, as an individual, where did you put the sense of making decisions? Okay. Where did you make, where did you, what did you choose when I said the sense of control? Okay. Interesting. Where was the sense of worth? If some of you felt you were not able to recognize, you could also, yeah, mention it on the chat that, I'm confused, or I didn't recognize. Okay. And sense of autonomy? Okay, good to read all these different, some similar, some diverse views that people are sharing, the feelings that people are sharing, and so thank you for doing that process with me, and especially the last few senses that I mentioned, especially about sense of willingness, sense of making decision, sense of autonomy, sense of self-worth, sense of control. um, I would invite you to see all of this as one right now, only for this session. These are not one, but for now, I'm just requesting you to see it as one, and imagine all of it: the sense of decision making, sense of self worth, sense of autonomy, sense of control is in the form of a cloud. Um, is in the form of a cloud, and it's it's right here, just above your gut and just below your rib cage, so just at the center. uh, and yeah, so it's a cloud that is there, that you're holding in front of you. um, yes, so I would invite you to imagine that, and keep imagining at least for this session, uh, because whatever I'll explain coming on, that will be important, to see that sense, all these senses coming together in this place. And I would, only for this session, I would just invite you to see that this is kind of a sense of power that is there, that is yours, uh, that you're experiencing. There's a sense of autonomy, a sense of control, your sense of self-worth. It's all there, uh, right here. Um, so yes, and we move forward. Are you able to see the screen, or you? Okay, okay, okay. So welcome again. I am Rahul, and um, I yeah, you can move on to the next slide. Yes, so this is the cloud that I talked about. So imagining this our whole sense of power as a cloud, which is there just above our gut, and uh, yes, and right now we'll be trying to play with it, to see it with a playful lens. What it is, I I have been facilitating for last 7 to 8 years now. Mostly with youth from the age group of 17 to 28, um, and um, uh, for last 7 years, until last year, I was facilitating at a program called Swaraj University, where um, and right now, in this year, I've with two of my friends, I've started something called as Zaria Collective. So um, working on bringing on the sense of collective and peer support, peer collectives on different themes. And I also design various cards and interfaces, which comes under SWA cards, for people to have more deeper dialogues and deeper conversations within family and outside. So this work of this my facilitation work, there have been different roles that I've been playing, and two of my main roles that I feel I've played are building my own muscle of self design learning, and building supporting other learners to build their muscle of self design learning. uh, and second is how do we nurture our senses, to sense, not just look at different perspective, but also how do we sense different perspectives and narratives that are there. So these are two of my, I would say, works, two key rules that I've been doing. And yeah, we can move on to the next slide. And I feel it's important to share, to connect uh, these two parts to my own life, because they have been quite key in my personal life as well, especially the self-design learning part. Um, a short story I would just like to share about my own self um, is that 12 years back when I was in college and was looking to move to do post graduation. That's when I felt I kind of had a rebirth, because that's when I realized that in spite of having good ranks, ranking, topping the college, and getting good invitations from good management institutes, I had zero sense of satisfaction and enjoyment and excitement. So there was something that was, you know, not happy within, and that's when I decided to move out of this formal structural education system and discover what life had to share to me. And I think that's when that consciously this journey of self design learning started for me. And um, and when it started, I discovered there were different kind of powers actually that were at play. And every time they are at play, um, uh, can we go to the next slide? Yeah. So one of the powers that I discovered, uh, that I had, but I had actually given it away, was the power to go to the toilet without asking anyone. So I'm sure you've been to, most of you have been to schools and colleges, and we have to take permission that may I go to toilet, and this has been a ridiculous kind of a system which is there for so long. And I don't know how many it did that time, but later on I realized that it destroyed my own digestive system, my nervous system, uh, for the pressure of asking something so crucial to my own existence from someone. Um, so again, bringing remembering that cloud. You all remember that cloud, which was I was talking about. So that cloud was supposed to be here, which moved on, which transitioned, and somehow without my knowledge, I had already given it away to someone. And right now, at that point of time, it was with someone else. um, Second example, when slowly I realized that um, there's so many options to learn what do I want to do next, especially after my graduation. People would say, this can happen, and you could do these. At a point I realized that these options were kind of a part of a menu, and it was a false sense of power that I got, that I can choose from all of this, whereas there was um, there was no sense that I could make a menu of myself. So again, in some ways, that power, I had given that power to someone else without my own uh, um, my sense that it is with me. So I had given that power. And third example where I feel I did not have the power, but I exercised exercised someone else's power. It was when, during the same time, while I was moving out of the college, and so I felt I took certain decisions which were supposed to be taken by my ex-girlfriend while we were in a relationship, and uh, and I took them. So in a way, I kind of hoarded, I took away her sense of power, and I barged into it, or I interfered into it. Um, so this was another, like, third example that I would like to share here. And yes, we can, yeah, we can keep it here on this slide. So these three examples are quite different from different, these are quite different examples of my life. One is related to relationship, one is related to learning, especially schooling and college. But the sense of power is something that I would like to bring to our attention today. And yeah, just inviting you to just have a look at the English and the Hindi translations, and for 30 seconds, and then I'll continue again. Okay, so I hope you had a glimpse of this, and um, whatever I'm sharing today and whatever I am speaking today, I just would like to share that this is um, with the sense of wondering right now, and it's not like this is the truth. So I'm here to wonder together with each one of you. Second, it is also coming from my limited experience, limited beliefs, limited perspectives. Um, um, yeah, and especially when power actually power when the word power is told, sometimes it totally gives um, a strong sense of there's something willingness about it. Yeah, someone is mentioning that the point is not clear for me. Can you please mention on the chat which point are you talking about? Yes. So I'll continue. My invitation right now is to uh, look at power from various different angles, and not that it is good, not that it is bad, um, or it is neutral, but as it is. Can we move on to the next slide? Yeah. So quickly, as a facilitator, and I'm assuming that a lot of you are into training or facilitating, engaging with people, um, and it becomes important. I feel, to understand what is this sense of power that is there, what is the sense of authority, what is the sense of autonomy which is there uh, within us. So first, to be aware of it. Second, how do we really own up that power? And probably when we own up that power, we might not end up misusing it or underusing it. But owning up that sense of power. Um, Also, how do we bring care and respect to the power we have, the individual power we have? Um, I'm also aware that each one of you might be doing it as a freelancing or within a set of within an organization, and to also just being aware of the power dynamic or the power at play which is there also. It's not with just with learners, but also with the organizations that we're working with the team that we're working with the audience that we're serving. And yeah, how can also learners and us, how can we both be deeply aware of our own politics and our own power? um, someone asked, what is this cloud thing all about? So cloud is something, for this session I'm just inviting you to look at your own power, your sense of making decisions, your autonomy, your willingness, um, in this cloud as your power. And that cloud, imagine that cloud is with you right now, and we are going to see how does it how does this cloud actually move. Does it move around? Is it easy to give away that cloud to someone else, or someone takes it away? Like the floating clouds in the sky, how is the movement of this cloud? And that is what the session is all about today. Like how is this movement of power, how do we see, how do we be aware of this movement of power that is happening uh, within us and outside of us? So I hope that is clear to you. And also, how do we also inculcate more of participatory decision making in our organizations and societies? I've often felt, especially um, organizations start or individuals start with the thought of challenging certain old set of ideas and mainstream ideas, and they try to create an alternative. But sometimes we also end up creating the same monster which we had started to challenge. So and that also happens a lot because this power is at play all the time. We might be bringing something new to the children, but the power is already at play, and it will play as it was playing before. So how do we consciously bring the attention to the power that is there? Okay, we can move forward. Okay, so we'll do. I'll invite some of you to share. Put it up on the chat. One power that is yours that you feel you have surrendered or you aren't exercising. ऐसी कोई ताकत जो आपको लगती है आपका सेंस ऑफ डिसीजन मेकिंग या सेंस ऑफ विलिंगनेस दैट जो आपको लगता है कि आपने किसी को दे दिया है, छीन लिया गया है या चला गया है आपसे, जो आप अभी एक्सरसाइज नहीं कर रहे हैं? Okay, someone said to put forward opinion. Okay. Thank you, Nidhi. Also inviting others to read as well. Thank you. Sharing thoughts, opinion. Okay, so I'm also seeing that a lot of that is also around communication, power of sharing, power of having an opinion, power of communicating. Okay, thank you. And if you are carrying a pen or a paper, I would also invite you to write whatever you have written for yourself. Um, it might be good to get back to it after the session. We can move on to the next slide. Okay, so this is kind of a flip question from the first one, which is put it up on the chat. One power that isn't yours, but you are exercising it. And it need not be from a bad intention. So yeah, again bringing that focus here that power is not something bad or good, but it is. Okay, thank you. And it might be interesting to observe, especially this one. Who are the people, whose power probably you are exercising right now? People, or if places, whatever. If not people, anything else. Who are the people actually? Are these close relatives, or are these people that you are quite comfortable with, or um, okay? So it's good to observe that, like, who are the people that sometimes you take the liberty to exercise their power um, through you. Okay, we can move on to the next slide. Okay, so this is something that probably we don't know about. Maybe some powers that we have that we are confused about. Okay, and maybe also think about, especially with respect to the learners or the trainees that you're working with right now. Um, yeah, is there something that comes up for you regarding powers that you are confused about? You don't know if the cloud is with you. You don't know if the cloud is there. You don't know if the cloud is moving around in between somewhere. Okay, that's quite a interesting observation that which Nayana has shared. She said, when I'm alone, I don't feel it. So you don't feel the power. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. So these are some of the things that people feel they are confused about. Um, whether the cloud is theirs to take care of, or whether the cloud is others to take care of, or there's confusion around it. So okay, good to be with that confusion. Um, okay, we can move on to the next slide. Hmm, hmm. So thank you for sharing these thoughts, and I hope that while talking and while sharing about these aspects of our power, we are getting a little more aware of where our sense of power is, where we are holding it, where we are unable to hold it, and where we are confused about it. Uh, but it's always good to be aware of where we are with respect to our powers. um, what we'll do right now is also we'll keep on interacting like that. I would also invite you to sometime open your switch on your cameras, because it feels nice. Otherwise it feels I'm talking to blank screens, blank walls. uh, so good if it is there. And we can of course continue right now. So we'll continue doing a little more exercises, and I'll also try to bring in some experiences or some instances from my own personal experience, and yes, and operate from there. So one a few years back, there's a mentor of mine named Anita Borkar. She's from Maharashtra, and she does a lot of work on um, women empowerment, gender, bringing awareness to gender and sexuality. Um, uh, so while she was there hosting some session with me and other people, she mentioned one thing which struck me, and which was, um, she said that, any relationship that we have, be it, husband and wife, or parents and children, or any relationship that is, we feel, which is woven around love, is also about power, is also about negotiating power, is about exchanging, mutual exchange of power. It's about play of power, even if our, whether our intentions are there or not, whether our feelings are there or not, but it exists, it exists, and it keeps on. So most of the time, it is in the purview of power, and it's good to see it that way. And so this exercise, let's do it right now. And it would also be interesting to do it with, if you're doing it with children or young learners, or even your parents or family members. So I would again bring you to imagine that cloud that is there with you right now, and it always remains. Like, I consider that cloud is there with us. Sometimes we may not recognize it at some, but it's there right now, that cloud of the sense of power right now with you. And imagine, I don't know wherever you're sitting, but imagine you are in your own room with that sense of power. The cloud is there with you, and just observe what happens to that cloud right now. When I say, so I'll make you walk into different rooms. You just make sense of what is happening to the cloud that is there with you. Okay. So okay, so you move out of your room holding that cloud with you, and you walk into your parents room. Maybe you're talking to them, they are talking to you, they are saying something to you, you are saying something to them, um, and your parents, right? Is 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 there any movement in the cloud? you know do you see any kind of movement happening in the cloud? you know okay, you carry your cloud again back to out of your parents room, and you walk into kitchen, and you're probably engaging whoever is in the kitchen, or someone else coming in there and engaging with you there. um, is it is the cloud, is there any movement in the cloud? Is it still with you, or is it, that sense of autonomy, that sense of control, is it still with you, or has it moved? Okay, so you take that cloud again with you, and now probably you are walking outside your house and walking into a neighborhood place. Okay, so you're walking into a neighborhood, which is a known neighborhood. Maybe your landlord is there, or maybe your, neighbors are there. But when you're interacting with them, they are interacting with you, they're asking you questions, you are probably answering them or whatever. So is there a sense of movement in the cloud right now? Okay. Okay, so you again take back the cloud and move to your working space. Probably that's where um, maybe you meet your boss, or you meet your colleagues. And is there something happening to your sense of autonomy, your sense of control, your sense of making decisions? Is that cloud still with you, or is it moving? Okay, so I'm assuming people who are saying yes, the cloud is moving, it is transiting. Okay, okay, it's moving. Okay, okay. So yeah, this is all for the exercise. This exercise, and of course, it can happen to different. You can use different rooms. You can take people different to different places. But I'm curious um, to hear why was it moving? Like especially for example, I mean, we talked about the office. You went to the office or you met your colleagues. Why did you feel the cloud moved? If someone also wishes to speak, it's also, I mean, if they want to share on a voice something, I mean, they can also share. Okay, some Parita has shared that somebody has more power over us, so ours is submissed. So we become submissive and we surrender our power. Someone said because of rules and regulations, professionalism, Sakshi is sharing different power dynamics with people and places affecting my perception of power. Sunita shares that I'm expected to be a certain way. I'm not the same I am. Okay, Shilpa is mentioning fear of insecurity and fear of judgment. Okay, okay, thank you. And um, it's good to be aware of what is it that is still, what is it that makes that cloud move, and how easy do we let it go? And yeah, let's take more examples, and then see. We'll come back to it if we have time. But these are good observations that people are sharing, because other people overpower, fear of people gossiping about it. Okay, so in different ways we are letting go of our power. I just want to bring the focus that to our attention to that this power, how can we be conscious of our own power, and seeing that power is going, is there a possibility that the power doesn't leave and we hold back to our own powers? So that's a question I'm wondering with. We go to the next slide. hmm. Pragna sharing that she easily lets go of the power. The other person. Okay, so that's this is little similar to what the first exercise is. um, it happens to me a lot that when I'm facilitating with the person whom I feel and I perceive is more articulate than me, speaks better English than me, I surrender the power to that other person. Has it happened to you? Or if there is a senior that I'm maybe I look up to, or kind of idolize, and if I'm in the air working with them, I kind of submit my powers. Be submissive. Hmm. Okay. So good to I mean most of the people like everyone who is put up has mentioned yes on this. And mm, also to bring attention, that why does it happen, why do we let go um, of our powers there easily. um, so good to also observe our own sense of why are we not able to hold that um, at this moment. Okay, we can move on to the next slide. And thank you people for putting it up on the chat. Um, okay, so I'm also seeing the time, and I'll also quickly run through so that we can have some time for questions. Um, so I'll just share it, and we won't get into the discussion right now. But it's good to observe and write it down in your own diaries. Uh, so while working with learners, there are times while I was working with learners, and because it was a self-designed learning program, there was still some structure to it. And there have been times when I designed a structure um, for them, and I shared it, and people said they don't want it. Has it happened with you? You could also think if you're working with children or with learners, they don't agree to the menu, and they say probably they know this is something that this structure is something that is not, they don't want to engage with that structure. Then what is our sense of power, and how do we respond to that sense? That's something, people want something else, and we don't have that in our menu. um, can we go to the next slide? Out of the menu. Part 2. So the first example was with the learners. The second example right now is with your organization, with the team members that you work with. And what if there is a structure that is already at place, some policies, some rules and regulations, as someone was saying, and you grow out of it? You probably don't like that structure, and you want to bring a change. Where is your cloud at that moment? Is it possible to hold that cloud with you, or do you give it away? So that's another. And yeah, so good to think about that also, because our sometimes we try to work with learners so that they can decide what they want to learn. But similarly, at the same time, we are not able to emulate the same in our organizations or in our families. So to be aware of that power play there also. I'll skip this, skip to the next slide. Yeah, I'll skip this too. Skip, skip again. Okay. So quickly asking each one of you, what are the factors you feel backslide? Okay. So what are the factors you feel affect our sense of power? Okay, insecurities, positions, hierarchies, others' feelings, domination, positions. Okay, we can move on to the next slide. Identity. Okay, so there, some of these are already covered in the slide, which especially, I mean, social cultural identities that we are sometimes born with or we are into, and they affect our sense of power a lot. Apart from that, there are, of course, beliefs and perceptions, our sense of self-worth, our confidence, our sense of purpose sometimes, um, our capacity to deal with our own powers, I feel, relationships we share with people, fears, insecurities people mentioned. Um, what is the intention that I'm engaging someone with? Is there an agenda with that, or is there like, is it without agenda? Um, and of course, I mean, I also feel that it's important to see what is our relationship with our own self. And I think that is something like this last part is something that I want to um, um, highlight it right now, especially in this group. That probably this is also something that if we pay close attention to, we might also be able to see much more clearly why this movement, and is it really possible to hold this movement, hold our own cloud. Yes. So yeah, next slide. Okay, so these are some questions that I'm just putting it forward to wonder together. Um, that where is, where our sense of power comes from, and what takes it away. Um, Sometimes it's the other person, but is it always the other person or the domination of the power? What is it that it becomes very easy for us to give away, or what is it that it becomes very easy to assume someone else's powers? What is the source of my power? What is the source of other person's power? And what is our investment in nurturing collective power? You know, that movement is happening, but are there spaces that we're nurturing that can hold a collective sense of power rather than holding individual sense of power, which can still exist, but can there be spaces for a collective sense of power? So these are the questions that I'm leaving everyone with to wonder and think about. And yeah, and I'll just open it up for questions and reflections, feedback, anything.
Thank you, Rahul. I think it was a really really enriching session. I definitely felt that we required more time to actually go through the entire process, but I think we all had a great time in the session. We can take a couple of minutes if any one of the participants have any questions. Please leave it in the chat box. Questions, comments, and Rahul can address a few of them.
Yes, yes. I think Ritika raised her hand, so if you want to start with.
Ritika, you can unmute yourself.
Okay, okay.
Ritika, if you're unable to unmute yourself, you can write it in the chat box and Rahul can read it.
I think she said that it was by mistake. So
Okay.
yeah, Nayana has a question.
Sure, Naina, you can unmute? Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. मैं आपसे हिंदी में पूछना चाहूंगी कि आपने सर बोला कि जो हमारा क्लाउड है, मतलब जो हमारे सेंस है, ये मूव करते हैं। जैसे हर सिचुएशन में हम अलग अलग तरीके से अपने आप को प्रेजेंट करते हैं, या जो भी चीजें होती है, जो बाहर की चीजें होती है, वो भी हमारे ऊपर इफेक्ट करती है, और वो कहीं ना कहीं हमारे जो पावर है, सेंस ऑफ पावर है, उसके ऊपर इफेक्ट करते हैं। लेकिन मुझे एक बात क्लियर नहीं हुआ सर कि आप जो बोल रहे हो कि हमारा क्लाउड मूव करता रहता है, तो ये मैं सच में मतलब मुझे ज्यादा क्लियर नहीं हुआ है कि वो किस तरीके से मूव करता है। क्योंकि जब आपने बोला था कि आप अपने क्लाउड के ऊपर अपना हाथ रखो और जस्ट वॉक, अपने बेडरूम में जाओ, पेरेंट्स के साथ में बोलो, वो हमारे साथ में ही है। तो ये आइडेंटिफाई करना बहुत ज्यादा हार्ड हो जाएगा। और जब हम एज अ टीचर, जब हम बच्चों के सामने जाते हैं, जब हम उनके साथ में बात करते हैं, तो ये बस हमारे लिए ही नहीं है, क्योंकि हम अब ये जो सीख रहे हैं सेंस ऑफ पावर, तो ये हम चिल्ड्रंस के साथ में भी सीखने वाले हैं। तो वो आइडेंटिफाई करना या उस चीज को कैसे हम क्या बोल सकते हैं उसको, जो सेंस ऑफ पावर है वो सामने वाले का और अपना, हम कैसे आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हैं कि वो हमारे साथ में है या सामने वाले का भी उसके साथ में है कि नहीं है। तो हम इसको कैसे आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हैं?
हाँ, हाँ। तो मैं हिंदी में ही जवाब देता हूँ आपको कि जो सेंस ऑफ पावर है हमारा, जो क्लाउड में कह रहा था, तो वो ऐसा मुझे लगता है कि वो हमारे साथ रहता है। हम कई बार उसको अवेयरनेस में नहीं ला पाते कि यार ये है और हमारा ही एजेंसी है, ये मेरा ही राइट है कि मेरे को एक्सरसाइज करना है। हम जाने अनजाने में, चाहे वो पॉलिटिकल या डोमिनेशन हो या ओवर पावरिंग कोई हो जाता है, हम उसको दे देते हैं किसी को या कोई छीन लेता है, पर है हमारा ही, तो हक हमारा है वहां पे उसको एक्सरसाइज करने का, उसको समझने का, उसके साथ ख्याल में रहने का। पर वो चले जाता है कहीं पे, या हम इवन कई बार जैसे बच्चों के साथ काम करते हैं तो उनका हक है, उनका एजेंसी है, और वो क्लाउड हम छीन लेते हैं कि नहीं मैं डिसाइड करती हूँ या मैं डिसाइड करता हूँ। तो पहला तो है कि उस पर कैसे अवेयरनेस ला सकते हैं कि है ये है, और कोई ले जा रहा है या मैं खुद ले रही हूँ। तो ये मूवमेंट पे अगर हम ध्यान दे पाएंगे तो मुझे लगता है कि हम मूवमेंट को धीरे होने से रोक सकते हैं। जो मुझे लगता है कि शिल्पा जी का भी सवाल है, शिल्पा इज ऑल्सो आस्क्ड हाउ डू वी नेविगेट इफ देयर इज अ सेंस ऑफ लूजिंग पावर। So this is my limited understanding, which I feel is, if our awareness comes to this, that this movement is happening and someone is really taking away, but whereas my agency is mine, ये agency तो मेरा है, तो उसको it becomes easier to put forward and share it when we understand that it is not anyone else's agency, किसी और का हक नहीं है या किसी और का राइट नहीं है वो क्लाउड ले लेने का। तो या आई डोंट नो if it made sense.
I think Shilpa is asking a question, how to navigate when there is a sense of losing power.
Yeah, I mean that is something I shared right now. um, um, when we see first first step I would say is to really bring our awareness to see that this movement is happening. Either our cloud is being taken away by someone, which is ours at the first place, and it will always remain ours. And when we acknowledge that first, that this is my agency, you know so when I acknowledge that this is my agency, that if I have to go to toilet, it is my agency, it is not my teacher's agency to decide. Or if my partner's has a decision ki what she wants to wear, it is her agency, it is not my agency to decide. So sometimes this, if it is clear in our heads, that is the first step. Second is also to communicate that clarity, that boundaries, uh, that this is my uh, this is my boundary, this is my agency, and this is not your agency. And there might be some things that are collective, and that we can decide collectively, but there are certain things that are mine to decide. And yeah, so this first acknowledging that it is there. Second, communicating it with other people as well. First communicating it with ourselves also, and communicating with other people as well. And how do we teach it to students? I mean, it's a very slow process, and it's maybe once in a week, you could sit in the circle and invite uh, kids to share how do they feel, who is taking more lead in the decision making, are they really taking decisions, who's taking decisions. So some slowly maybe they can share that, and also some bringing some examples from family especially, uh, to see how who takes decisions, who is the agency, who overpowers someone. So maybe having more conversations around that.
Sure. So I think we will end with the questions now as we are running a little over time. But not to worry, Rahul will be joining us on Trainer Tribe. So you can find us on Facebook. We are an open group wherein we have educators of different ecosystems uh, taking part in this online learning community wherein we share stories, inspire each other, and support each other as educators. So we can continue this discussion there, and I'm sure Rahul will also be happy to facilitate some of these discussions on the platform. So looking forward to seeing you all on the Facebook group, which is Trainer Tribe. Before we end, I'm just quickly launching a poll. Bhavishya Sanjana, can you try launching the poll? Bhavishya, can you try launching the poll, please?
Yes, Lennon, I have launched the poll, requesting everyone to take few seconds to fill this poll.
So in the meantime, I think I see Seema's hand raised. So maybe I can unmute her. Seema, you can go ahead with what you want to say, a question or a comment, while others take the feedback poll. Seema, you can unmute yourself. I think that was by mistake. How much percentage people have taken the poll, Bhavishya?
25%, which is 7 people have already filled, Lennon.
Okay.
We will wait for another 1 minute for others
Sure.
also to fill it.
Sure. In the meantime, for the others who have already accessed the poll, you can keep leaving your comments and questions, and Rahul can take a look at it. Maybe one question, he could maybe take it now while the others are filling the poll. And the rest, we could take it as discussion points on the Trainer Tribe platform. Once the recording is up on our YouTube channel, we will be sharing this link of the recording to each one of you or part of it. So you can use it as a future reference in your further work. Rahul, I think Shilpa has a question.
Yes. Okay, so the question is, how do we bring in the sense of collective power, and what would be initial steps? Okay. So okay, so I'm wondering out loudly at the same time. And if others can also pitch in their ideas, they can also share. I think first is again to acknowledge that there are different entities. One is individual, and then is a community, and like nurturing the sense of collective and a community first, because then only this sense of collective power might be practiced, and what I've realized is sometimes, most of the times actually, um, uh, either people have a glorification ideas of a collective or a community, or they have a glorification idea of doing, individualistic work. And, so if acknowledging that these both are important, and acknowledging first step could be like, it could be acknowledging our own um, personal powers. And then when we bring people collectively, um, you know uh, where people can share their gifts, share their skills together, share their friendships together. Yeah, I think that's when this might appear, I would say. So yeah, I'm not sure if I'm still clear with what can be initial steps on that. um, yeah, maybe I need to think a little more. But meanwhile, if others have certain ideas of how they can be a more sense of collective power.
Yeah, I think that's a great note to end with. I think if,
Hmm.
as a community, we can think about that question, and you can pour in your responses to the Trainer Tribe Facebook page, and Rahul and all of us could look at what are the comments that are coming up, and we could take the discussion forward there. I think the poll has been completed. So thank you. Thanks a lot, Rahul. It was great having you on a Friday evening. Thank you for taking out your time. We totally understand that you're in the middle of a lot of things, but thank you for accepting our invitation in a short notice. We definitely look forward having you facilitate more sessions because personally, I feel that this topic cannot be condensed into one session. I think it's a process that is there, and I think we have kickstarted the journey. So thank you for your time, and we wish you all the very best for your future endeavors. Uh, yeah, so Rahul has left his
Thank you.
WhatsApp number and his Insta link handle. So you can always follow him and always write to him and have these conversations also. Thank you again, once again, everyone, for joining us on a Friday evening. Stay safe. Have a great weekend with all your weekend plans. And take care. And we look forward to seeing you in the next Trainer Tribe Masterclass, information of which will be put up on our Trainer Tribe Facebook page. So don't forget to join the Trainer Tribe Facebook page. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
We'll be ending the meeting in the next 30 seconds.